followed by Kyle Odegaard.
Hey,
Bob,
Larry,
why didn't you catch that pass I threw you today, man?
because it was thrown so low, you wouldn't have caught it if you were diving. Horrible throw. Hey, you know DeAndre well already, I'm sure. He's missed practices before, but how confident are you you're going to see him on Sunday?
I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical physician. I don't know how to assess and diagnose injuries. That's a question that's better suited for Tom Moore, to be honest with you. We need him. We need him, for his playmaking ability. He's got a tremendous fast start, and his rapport with Kyler has been spectacular through the first week, 3 weeks. We need him. We need him bad. He's a huge part of our offense, and we have the best training staff in the league, in my opinion, and Tom Reed and his guys, and I know he's working tirelessly to be able to get through the issues that he's having.
Hey, Larry, Cliff took a lot of blame for you not getting any receiving yards in that game. I'm wondering if you saw anything specifically to pinpoint where your production can get increased moving forward after, the first 3 weeks where it's not as big as you've usually had.
Well, I'm not concerned about my production at all, honestly. It's not something that I concern myself with. I do want to thank Coach Cliff. I've never had a head coach actually say that before. I've never been one to politic or ask or request plays or passes. I don't really operate like that. I've operated the same way for the last many years. I've played football since I was 6 years old, and I don't ever intend to change. But as a player, I do appreciate him saying that. But I don't want my head coach answering questions about one individual, being not targeted or production. This is a team game. This is a great offense. We have many playmakers who deserve the opportunity to be showcased in this system, have worked tirelessly to put themselves in position to be successful. And wherever the ball goes, it goes. And my only objective is to win and do what's required to win. And that's the only thing I'm upset about last week, is that we didn't come out of that game with a win.
Next up, Jarecki Zimmerman Fitzgerald.
Hey, Larry, Kyler and Cliff have talked about, you guys shooting yourselves in the foot, negative plays, penalties. How close is this offense to kind of finding their rhythm?
Very close, very close. We, every game we played thus far, there's been plays, either penalties, mishaps, misreads, or things of that nature. And there's not a lot, it's just a few, but it stalls our drives. And when we're in rhythm, and we're in sequence, and we're doing the plays and running and operating them the way that we're capable of, you see the production that we get. You see the explosive plays and the explosive runs and passes and the plays that are being made in the field, and we need to be able to have more of those and less of the mistakes. And if we can do that offensively, we can really be a dominant offense, one of the top offenses in the game, and really set ourselves apart. So that's what our focus was this week. The attention to detail in the last 2 days of practice have been, on high, and that's a great sign. Sunday was a great wake-up call for us. It shook us up. When you start off 2-0, and to get humbled at home against a team that's lost the last 11 games, it really puts things in perspective for you and how far you have to go and how far you have to continue to work to be successful in this league. It's really fickle.
Hey, Larry, just wondering, in your wide receiver room specifically, what have you guys talked about this week as far as cleaning up details or helping Kyler out more and that kind of thing?
Well, it's always something that we're talking about. It's harped on every single day by Coach Rye and Jerry Sullivan. These are things that are addressed. Nothing has gone unaddressed, and it's up to us as players to be able to take the information that we're coached on, to be able to implement it and execute it at the level that we're asked to, and that falls on us. So, we're going to go at it and continue to work at it.
Larry, when you watch film from a game like Sunday's, even if you're not concerned about statistics or anything like that, what do you look for when you're rewatching a game that you weren't quite as involved with? Like, what do you pinpoint?
First, I watch it like from an individual standpoint, things that I can do to improve on, splits and depths and all of those things. Every single play, is designed to go certain places, and you're asked to do a certain assignment on each individual play. And I pretty much watch to make sure that I'm doing my job, no matter what that job is, to the highest level, right? Sometimes that play is designed for you to get open and catch a pass, right? Sometimes it's to be able to block force. Sometimes it's, to be able to get out on a bubble screen and be able to get to the outside shoulder of somebody. So every single play has its purpose in terms of each individual player, and that's kind of how I watch it, and that's how I kind of grade myself, on productivity.
We'll wrap it up with the final four: Howard and Bob, Jess and Omo.
Hey, Larry, I was curious with going on the road. Do you think that it's somewhat less daunting because of the situation with not having fans at games when a team goes on the road this season?
I would say the home field advantage is definitely not the same. We went to San Francisco. That place is usually really tough. They have a loyal fan base there. They're used to winning, a lot of success, and not having that added element makes it easier, especially as an offensive player in terms of the communication. The way we really play with a lot of tempo. Kyler can look out literally and just tell you what you have, or, you can check something and communicate very easily to your teammates. Yeah, I got this guy, you got this guy, or you can hear the defense communicating, when they're talking in and out, or a bracket, box coverage. You can actually hear them talking to each other, so okay, they're playing zone or they're playing man, and you have a better understanding of what's going on just because you can hear everything and not hear the crowd distracting you. So it's a lot easier to play on the road. Thus far, I've only had one road game, but it definitely wasn't as nearly as challenging as it has been the last 16 years.
Larry, it's so early in the season, and Kyler's so young into his career that, teams may look at last week and say, oh, this is how you play, this is how you defend Kyler in this offense. But how difficult truly is he still to defend, because you just don't know, what he's going to do in the pocket, out of the pocket, when he's moving around. Can you talk about the difficulty teams still have to face when they play you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to also think, man, this, for as much as he accomplished his rookie year, done so many great things, this is only his 20th professional game. 20, that's not a large sample size. And so, I mean, there's so much that is to be learned about what he's capable of doing. He's figuring out things he can do himself. I think everybody around the league is scratching and trying to find ways to be able to limit, plays with his arm and plays with his legs. I mean, he can beat you in the pocket, he can beat you outside the pocket, he can beat you with his legs. There's so many ways he can hurt you and help us. And so I don't think there's any one way you can really stop him with man or zone. I mean, he's done a great job of doing and executing against both of those looks. So, I think we have a great game plan this week. We're going to see a defense that we haven't seen. This is a lot of different fronts and different looks than we're accustomed to. So it'll be a great challenge for us, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Hey, Larry, you didn't get as many opportunities, but Keyshawn and Andy did. What did you like from what you saw from them, and how important is it for a guy like Andy, who hasn't had a lot of chances, to get that sort of production out of a game like that?
Well, Andy has never, it's never been like a skill thing with Andy. I think everybody that plays in the National Football is here because they have the physical attributes to play, right? You have to pass that test first before you even get in the door. Andy has an unbelievable skill set, but what has really changed about Andy is his level of confidence. Andy has a really strong belief that he should be here, he should be on the field, he should be making plays, and I think you see that kind of manifesting his way into the way he's playing on Sunday, the impact that he's had thus far on the season. Andy's playing with a lot of confidence, and as a teammate and a friend, you're just elated to see him playing at that level because he puts the work in every single day. And Key, unfortunately, he got sick, a few weeks ago, missed some time. He had a great camp. He was really doing wonderful things in training camp and was really carving himself out a niche. Last week, Christian didn't play, so his role was bigger than it may have been even if Christian was there. And he's just getting back into football shape. And you take 2 weeks off playing at this level, with the magnitude and ramifications of every single play, it's tough to do, come back and play 60 snaps. But I think he did a great job. He learned a lot. There's some things that we can all clean up. And, I think he's going to be ready to go on Sunday. And when his numbers call, he'll be ready to execute.
Hey, Larry, my question was also about Andy. He posted, there was a photo of you guys walking off the field. I believe it was from last week, and he posted it on his Instagram. So obviously that relationship means a lot to him. I was wondering on the flip side, he probably sees you as the big brother, but how proud of him are you that he was finally able to get in the end zone? And not just Andy, but for the young guys in general. And also, Andy seems pretty reserved when talking to us. Is he a chatterbox behind the scene, or is he still pretty quiet?
No, Andy, he's definitely really outgoing. His biggest thing is he needs to get comfortable with you. He has to know that he can trust you, and once that happens, man, he's open. We talk all the time, and I really have enjoyed getting to know Andy. He's a really he's like one of the, when you come from a family as large as him, he's got 6 brothers and sisters. He's a very close-knit guy. So once he feels like he's a part of the group, he would literally take his shirt off for you. I mean, give you food, invite you by the house, cook for you. I mean, he's that type of person. He lets teammates, AJ Richardson live with them all last year. I mean, he's the kind of guy that he just would do anything for you. And so when you see a guy like that have success, it makes not only me proud, but it makes everybody proud, because every day, man, there's nobody that works harder and tirelessly than Andy. I mean, you look at his numbers from his, we wear these trackers every day. There's nobody that has more yardage and, the speed and output that he puts in. And when you see him be able to make those plays, and, it's great to reward the guys who do it the right way, who prepare the right way. And he's one of those guys. And, it makes you really happy as a friend to see that.
Fitz, thank you for your time. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, Fitz.
Thanks.
Thanks, Larry.